Welcome back. This is episode 12 of my Let's Play series, and today we're going to be finishing up the boiler room and hopefully get the boiler running. Maybe. As you recall last time, we set up the boiler and some pipes and the water system. So, I need to set up the fuel system, providing, at least partially. Eventually it's going to be more complicated, but for now what I need to do is just kind of a temporary solution. And so I thought about it for a while, whether I wanted to use... I couldn't really use Buildcraft without it getting overly complicated because I don't have gates yet. And I thought about red power, but there's issues with block updates, and my internet being what it is, I'd prefer to avoid those. So I came up with kind of a novel solution just to how we're going to do this. I'm going to have a chest here. Right here. And I'm going to put fuel in there. But in order to get the fuel to the boiler, I'm going to be using a golem. Now, I have no idea how well this would work in actual production, considering golems, like all entities, including minecarts, are a little derpy at times. So, set him to orange. And he'll take everything from that chest and put it in the boiler, hopefully. Actually, that might not work. I need to give him a piece of fuel and see what he does. There's a chance that it will put it in the wrong slot in the boiler. And it did. Okay, so it's surprisingly hard to pick up with a pickaxe. So we'll put it here, I suppose. Yep, that worked. Like red power, Thumbcraft does not obey the Buildcraft inventory APIs, so unfortunate, but temporary. We'll do this correctly later. Well, actually, I know what I could do. Axe works much better. If I put this under here and put a chest here, it takes stuff from that chest and put it in here, which then the boiler will draw from there. So that'll work. Now we have two engines set up, and this boiler's not as tall as the final version will be, but it's just going to be a temporary run to build up a bit of steam reserve and get some power. So I went ahead and laid out the general floor plan for my machine room here, and starting from this side we have all of our power using machines, the rolling machine, the thermonic fabricator, and a couple of carpenters for water and creosote. I have a tank for creosote here, Buildcraft tank, and a coke oven that I'll manually feed coal probably. I may set up an automated wood-fed coke oven elsewhere, but for now this'll do. And over here we'll have a steam oven and a rock crusher, which should complete our machinery to get pretty much everything done. and lacking the oven has been annoying me for a while, so I'll be glad to have that in place. But anyways, to do this, I'm going to need to get up there. This room is a little bit taller than I usually build machine rooms, but I want to have plenty of room for pipes at near the ceiling. So that'd be the rolling machine, the fabricator, and the 2 carpenters. And they need power. And I need more dirt. And we'll fill some of this back in. Don't want to be able to see it from above. Connect the 2. And I'm going to need some steam pipe running over to this tank as well. And we'll feed it in from near the top just to get the pipe out of the way. Something like this. We'll have a valve up there. Now, the way this will work is generally this oven or the boiler will only produce enough steam to run the engines, but with all the other pipes coming out of it, it should decrease the steam going to the engines and send it to the other stuff as needed. And we'll see how well that works. Anyways, I'm going to finish up the tank now, so do that real fast. Now originally when I designed boilers, I hadn't really considered the possibility of steam reservoirs and everything. It was something I wasn't really sure how I felt about, so although I've kind of come to accept them since then, it actually adds some interesting dynamics. And that should be our steam tank. Now connected to these valves will be additional industrial steam engines, which I will have to build at some point. But that should give me plenty of reserve power, even if the boiler isn't running immediately. I like the water, I just need to keep an eye on it. So as for my chunk loading, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with chunk loading, whether or not I'm going to keep this loaded or not. It may depend on how many bugs arise if I don't. Like, I've been having troubles today with golems duplicating themselves randomly, so. And see here, I brought one of these down here so I could. Don't think I brought my wand though. And this thing is a Thaumcraft table. If I hit it with the wand, it turns into a crafting bench. Now I like them because they're kind of like both the Buildcraft Autocrafter and the Red Power project table, in that you can put items in it and leave it. Because I'm always forgetting something when I'm crafting, and it's a real pain to have it all spill out on the floor when I close the GUI. So the project tables are pretty cool from Red Power, but my recent experiences with them have been rather on the buggy side. I don't know if that's been resolved since the last time I used it, but it seemed like every time I touched them I crashed, so I have been avoiding them. And as for the Buildcraft tables, they're just kind of ugly. So I don't generally use them too much for aesthetic reasons. Unless I'm actually automating something. Okay, so that generally looks pretty good. Let's go upstairs, and got a bunch of machines in here. Picked up my rolling machine from my cabin over by the farms. So the positioning of this is kind of interesting, because if I want, I can feed the output of the blast furnace directly into the rolling machine, if I wish. Right, I need to provide water to this somehow, so that's probably going to be from back here. I'm going to pipe up from the tank if I can find it. There's a bit of small cave in the walls when I cleared the place out, so I left a few holes behind. We don't need a lot of water, so this cobblestone pipe probably be sufficient, but I'm going to need some more of it. I got myself some more waterproofing, so oh, while I'm at it, just because I can. Okay. Now, I don't really want mobs or anything spawning back here, so we'll fill it in. And finish it off upstairs. So weird noises. Hmm. I didn't really want it connecting to any other machines other than the carpenter, but it appears the fabricator's not accepting the water anyways, so we may just leave it. I would like to be able to see it so I can know if the water runs dry from the tank or not. That appears to be working. We'll set that up later, and so it seems this is going to need some more work because I need some emerald pipes and stuff, so. It's going to be like that. And same thing over here. Don't think I have any emeralds. I think I did at one point, but I think I traded them for Thaumcraft shards. So, what I need to do, I need to use the fabricator to make a bunch of copper cathodes. I think. That might not be what they're called, but I need redstone. I just find it odd that the fabricator doesn't use ghost slots, but the carpenter does. So I think that's right, but I'm going to need more copper. Not sure how much copper I have actually. Hey, you see that creeper over there? I can come over here and hug him. Hello, creeper. He doesn't move, he doesn't do anything. Not quite sure what's up with the server, it's being a little funky. Another one over here. Me and a creeper just chilling. There are the entities all over the place doing stuff like that, like the columns. Like you see, I got duplicate columns and stuff going on. So, I don't know what's going on. Items are doing it too. And now I've completely forgot why I came out here. Copper, right. Copper blocks. Probably will need to get some more redstone from the quarry. And so it's make those things. Electron tubes, that's what they're called. Cathodes, electron tubes, same thing. I need less redstone than I thought though. Oh, that's right, Forestry has integrated support for Craft Guide now. I know some of you were wondering in the comments from the last episode what this was. This GUI, this is Craft Guide. Basically, it has all the recipes, and you can even select which machines. As you can see, railcraft's got full support. You can turn on specific machines like carpenter. It'll only show you carpenter. I guess that's a fermenter. Okay. It'll show you only the fermenter recipes. I didn't realize you could use mushrooms to make biomass. Anyways, it's even got search features and a list of all the items in the game currently. So, I got my copper. I do not need that cobblestone. Oh, I don't know if I ever showed you guys this specifically, but he takes the cobblestone and it spits out smooth stone, and then this guy over here takes it over to this chest where it's crafted into brick. I would be so lost without that being automated. This is kind of pointless, but here, you can have some. Not quite sure how much of this stuff I need, and I think that was wrong. Need more redstone. Over to Digger. While I'm at it, I'll grab some charcoal, coal, and coke. I've got so much creosote. It's actually a bit of more of a hindrance at the moment than actually useful for anything. Okay, one of these chests has redstone in it. This one. I honestly have no idea how much of these electron tubes I need. So, as you can see, I stole my boiler tanks. Yeah, don't shoot me. That reminds me, while I'm out here, I need more lapis. But I need to make some room. Get rid of that. Lapis is over here, I think. And make some more bullets. I've been using them like crazy. You see that book? Don't want to click that book. That book leads way out to a desert way off that way, like 2,000 blocks, that has a bunch of oil, but there's no book back. I've clicked it once already on accident. That was annoying. So I don't want to feed the chest down there just yet because that will start the boiler up. Actually, I can probably do that. We have some engines, we have steam. Didn't really need a whole lot of power, so we'll give him some fuel. Now he's supposed to be a strong golem, so he's supposed to be moving entire stacks, I thought, but apparently not. Anyways, it appears to be working. This is only a low pressure boiler, so... And low pressure boilers are generally, for most circumstances, unless you're constrained by space or you need a massive amount of steam, which most people do not, a low pressure boiler of the appropriate size will serve you better than trying to feed one of those high pressure monsters. Also, low pressure boiler twice the size of a high pressure boiler is going to use fuel more efficiently and produce the same amount of steam as the high pressure boiler. Now that seems a little unintuitive perhaps, but the high pressure boilers their benefits are in the fact that they're more compact, and if you got a system that needs a massive amount of power and it's going to be running 24/7 basically, like in a single player world, I would not recommend a high pressure 36 HP boiler because it just isn't going to be running that long enough for it to be worth it. They're not really tiered, they're just different. Anyways, we should be getting some steam here before too much longer. Now I shouldn't have to worry about any of my pipes exploding because the thermonic fabricator is a power hog and basically consumes any power you'll give it, pretty much. So because of that, we don't have to worry about the pipes exploding, I hope. But if that fails, we always just put a loop in it, which wastes a bit of power, but then it won't ever explode, and it does give it a bit of a buffer. Yeah, I'm not sure how many of you are aware, but if you put a loop in your pipes, due to the change... Oh, look, we got steam. Anyways, due to the changes that were made to pipes with the increased capacity and the increased loss per pipe, making loops basically are now pretty much impossible to explode. They instead just kind of act as a power sink / buffer. So it does appear to be splitting the steam pretty evenly between the three pipes. I would have expected it to smooth out a bit more than that, but It might just be a little laggy. Anyways, I don't know how long it's going to take to fill that tank. I don't even know how long my fuel's going to last. But that's not important. The important thing is that we're up here making our electron tubes. In theory. Now I need something like one of these for each block, and I need, it's like 4 times 5 times 5, which is like 100 of them. This machine's kind of odd. And because I always need more than that, we'll just make 2 stacks. Okay, so that pretty much covered everything I needed to do in order to get my farms going, I think. So farm blocks. I hope I didn't just... I did, didn't I? Wow. Okay. Did I really just... Okay. That's not quite what we needed. Well, not like I use copper for anything else anyways. But I don't know what I'm going to do with 128 copper electron tubes if I need tin instead. So I'm going to go get some tin. I will be back. Okay, I'm back with tin this time and making sure I got this right. It's tin electron tubes that are needed for farm blocks, not copper. They need copper ingots for the blocks. Which means I'm going to have to cook up some more copper as well. But, so I need a couple stacks of these, not the copper ones. And there we go. It's pretty much used all of my tin that has been cooked up. Not really a huge loss I have. I complain about not having any copper, but honestly it's mostly because I haven't cooked any of it. There's a ton of it over in my ore chest over in Digger. So now that we have the tin electron tubes, which I'll be using on the farms, set those up. I can probably actually shut down this boiler before it uses all of my fuel. It's kind of dark in there. Not sure how that will look once it's full. The lighting on the tanks is a little odd at times. Anyways, let's steal all this fuel. So it appears we only used about half a stack of coal coke. And we made some 250-ish buckets of steam for the tank, plus a fair bit of power. Not too bad. Set it up right next time. Apparently I don't have any more chests on me. chest that he's not going to just stick it back in the boiler again. And I think we're getting close to wrapping up time, so I think the last thing I'm going to do is show you how my bullet factory works. So in here we have Seeker Shot recipe. Just need lapis, string, slime ball, gunpowder, gold nuggets, and the empty casings turned back into gold nuggets. So you don't really lose any gold. And I've stole a bunch of gunpowder from the mob farms and slime balls. Most of the string came from my own farms. Anyways, I just put the lapis in here, and it should start producing bullets. Should take some in here. Combines them with an Eye of Ender to produce Ender Shot. I have to provide these manually. And then it comes over here and fills the magazines with the 8 shots in an empty magazine. And we just take it out the other end. Keeps me steadily supplied with the bullets, which otherwise is a fairly tedious crafting process. So, I think that seems like a pretty good wrapping up time. So, I will catch you next time.